Welcome back to the Sports Source, the segment of our program brought to you by Parkside Cabin Rentals. Cool temperatures, fall colors. Is there ever a better time to visit the Great Smoky Mountains than right now? Well, actually, I guess you can debate that, which the better season is. But what you can't debate, best place to stay, Parkside Cabin Rentals. Free parking in downtown Gatlinburg. Cabins of all sizes, shapes, layouts, floor plans, you decide, and all kinds of different locations. You want a mountain stream, you want a great big mountain view, you want to be off by yourself. They got it all. Parkside Cabin Rentals. Check it out. ParksideCabinRentals.com. It will blow you away. All right, let's welcome in the next two members of our panel, VFL Sterling Hinton right here and VFL Daniel Hood right there. Gentlemen, thanks for being here.
Yes, sir.
All right, I am going to be quick in this segment. I'm going to give you a question. I'm going to give you guys a question. I'll start with you, and let's put up some numbers here from Mr. Overstreet. What do penalties tell us? When you look at Bowling Green, Tennessee had 5 for 45 yards. You stepped up in competition, you had 13 for 134. Tennessee Tech was a pushover, only 3 penalties. Then you went up in competition again, 10 penalties, 85 yards. Combine those. Against the duds, 8 penalties, 80 yards. Against teams of equal or greater talent, 23 penalties for 219 yards. Penalties can tell us, they can point to bad coaching, they can point to a lack of discipline. Can they also point to talent deficiency?
Well, they can also point to terrible officiating, but we won't get to that. You definitely see some of that as probable of guys having a little bit less talent in a game like that, because you're going to see the Tennessee Techs will have more penalties against the UT than if they weren't playing in their own league or arena or level. But it's also depending on the type of penalties. I mean, personal fouls are personal fouls, right? It's not talent. It's when you get holding calls, jumping off sides, some pass interferences, those things. That is usually the sign of, hey, I'm trying to take advantage. I'm going to get beat by this guy. So you're having to do something extra or think you need to do something extra. So that's where you see. So I think it's a lot more based on the types of penalties that we're seeing. And you're getting a mix, but I definitely think it's something, the positions, you're going to see that against better competition, you're going to have some more of these pass interference, holding, things like that. They're going to go on. It's just a matter of, can you get rid of the stupid ones, the personal fouls, the targetings, and things like that.
All right, Daniel and Sterling. Okay, here's the question. Let's say Hendon Hooker can't go against Missouri, and the team knows he's made a difference. Let's say Cooper Mays, who was out there gutting it out last night, let's say he can't go against Missouri, and we know that the line has not been as good when he hasn't been out there. You haven't played as fast. You haven't been as good. What is this team going to think? What's the team reaction going to be if they know these two guys are out? And I know you're going to say next man up, and that's what everyone says, and that's what they tell each other, and that's what the coaches say. Is that the reality, though? Isn't it at some point, don't you sit there in the back of your head and you won't admit it to anybody else, but you're going, oh my gosh, Peyton Manning's out and we're going to have to start Jim Sorge? Or do you just always say, no, next man up, we're good?
Well, in my opinion, it's always next man up. And candidly speaking, if you see a movement in talent toward the negative area in that certain position, well, then you got to step your game up. That's just the way it is. That's why football is the best team sport on the planet. One person can't win a game in football. It takes the team. You've got to step your game up wherever you lack another position. And as vital as some of these positions are in the offensive side of the ball that might have to go to someone else, everyone has got to step their game up. And that's just the way it is, man.
Daniel?
So, with an asterisk, I'm going to agree with Sterling, to the point where that is the mentality of 20-year-old, 22-year-old kids whenever they get on the field. Hey, it's next man up. I am going to go out there. It's on me. I got to go harder. But what does that lead to? It's going to lead to more penalties, because now I've got to try harder. I'm going to go outside of what I'm typically going to do. And then some things are going to happen. Then it starts going against you. And that's when that reality set in. And I had the same moment senior year. We had a young quarterback, Josh Dobbs, coming in. Got hurt. We went up to Missouri. We lose, I think, 30-3, 30-something like that. Once 14 points were on the board, you have that thought in the back of your head, just like, dang. And obviously he wasn't ready. And as he went through it and grew into what he became through, that was one of the starting points for it. But it starts with, you're going to have that mentality. It's going to cause you to try to do something above and beyond your capabilities. And I think that's what you see with Tennessee, just to tie it back into the penalties. Yeah. You're going to be relaxed. You're not going to be worried about Tennessee Tech. But when you get in there against Florida, when you get a Missouri or an Alabama, you're not, to quote one of my favorite people, you're not relaxing hard enough in the game to actually focus on the activities that matter.
It's very quickly.
I think just the problem is that the offense is so key to this team and the speed and all these other things. I think so it makes it more problematic at center and at quarterback being your issue, right? It just, offense is what leads everything to this team, how long the defense is on the field, everything. So I think it's problematic.
Okay, very good, guys. I appreciate it. When we come back, let's talk 3 up, 3 down. I'll let you start. 3 up, 3 down is next. Who played well for Tennessee? And why did they get the big kudos? Who didn't? We'll talk about it. Come on back on the Sports Source.